Okay, it is 3/19/2024. We're just going to do a quick drawing up of Uber's chart. And the reason I'm using Uber is I like Uber. I like it for the long term. I like the company. I like playing it on the way up. I've played it many times, and I just want to continually break it down. Right. I'm still holding pieces from back over in here into this break, and I like adding on dips, and we're starting to get a dip. So where would I want to add? Where's the chart broken? If it doesn't pull back to a certain level, where is it reclaim? These are all questions we have to ask ourselves to get long. So I'm going to start, excuse me, on the daily. And the main thing that I want to look at right now is this upper level. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw an anchored VWAP, right? Just from this breakout. Well, this was most likely earnings. I don't know that, but I would guess this is earnings causing a gap up. And then I'm going to zoom in as tight as I can on this time frame from earnings. And again, the goal for me over here on the right side of the screen is to get as tight as I can. So there's 10 cent spread right now, but you'll see if I scroll in and out, it's going to get bigger and smaller. So now there's 25 cent spread, right? So I want a 10 cent spread, and I can't go all the way back on a 5 minute chart, so I'm gonna have to use a 10 minute chart. But to get the spread, I think I'm gonna have to zoom in from this date or this candle here. So let's zoom to this area. And you can see, I mean, obviously, here's your chunk. And then your point of control, probably right about here, right? And then I'd put a thinner line here, just to let you know, hey, it's normal to get a rejection off of this level within this range. And then last one would be here. Okay, now to the upside, I'd actually make this one the same. So like here is your upper level. So now what I want to do is I want to figure out where this upper level is coming from. Is it this one, this first pop up, the second pop up, or the third pop up, right? Well, if I take away the first one, you can see it goes. See how it shrinks it down? So what that lets me know is we've already had two opportunities for these people that got trapped up here to get out, which is beneficial to know. So that I'm actually going to make it smaller because I don't think it's going to be as big of a resistance as I thought it would be. All right, now I'm going to undo the zoom. Now I've got that upper level broken down how I like it. Right? This is the lines that I want to see. So now I need to say, well, if we break and we start pushing down and we come into this gap fill or up into this area, where would I be willing to buy in this group? Does that make sense? So probably going to need a 15-minute chart for that. And we will zoom into this area. Okay. Pretty obvious where these are, right? These are your main levels, and then again, make these smaller just so I know. Yeah, there's a little bit of support here, but it's not quite as thick as these other ones. Excuse me. Okay, so those NVIDIA puts. You're now up about 300 per on them. Okay. So I took some more of those out. Now I'm going to undo the zoom and come back and look at these. Okay, so now I've got my below, I've got my at, and there is no above because we're at all-time highs, right? There's nothing up there. So I've got the levels drawn that I want drawn on Uber. How long did that take? 5 minutes. So you can get your levels. Now, once you get your levels, you have to decide the plan on what you want to do and how you want to play it. All right. So for me, what I'm looking at here is first thing I notice is this low right here has been cracked. So can anybody tell me what that means? What does it mean that the low over there was cracked by this candle? So look, even though Nvidia is going sideways, you see how that theta is eating up the sold to open options. That's why I love selling open options. Wash people out. Yeah, Todd. So yeah, Todd and TTC, you're both correct. What it means, we know factually, right, that anybody that was using this as a stop has now stopped out. Anybody using this as a stop is gone. They've sold. Why? Because we've gone under it. Now, usually what happens when you break into gaps like this, you continue to push lower. And you should come down here and start filling up the gap. Well, what if we don't? What is that called? That's called a break and a reclaim, right? And that's extremely bullish in my opinion. So what's happening on Uber right now is, all right, we broke down, we reclaimed, and all we've done today is we've literally retested the breakdown. So do you see this thin line right here? I'm not going to buy Uber and think that this is a break and a reclaim yet because we haven't reclaimed. If I wanted to short, if I was a short bias trader on Uber and I wanted to short this, I would be more willing to short here and say, all right, prove to me that you can get back above yesterday's close, right? So I would tier in. I'd say, I'm going to short here at 75. I'll short again at 75.50 and I'll short again at 76. If you get over 76.13, then I'll be wrong and I'll stop out and I'll look for a long, right? So what does that mean for me on the long side? Okay, well, it doesn't mean anything until you can push up to this level. Break over this, push to this level, and hold this level. So are we going to do that today? If we do that today, what are we going to have that, as an edge that we could play tomorrow on Uber? So let's say we finish right here, right now, and this is the closing candle on Uber. What edge could we play on Uber tomorrow? Well, it wouldn't be a reverse strat. Yeah, it would be an inside candle, right? And so now we've got Uber set up as, all right, pretending today's candles have put in the highs and the lows. Let's see how this mixes with our current lines, right? Well, all right, do I want to buy over 75.63 if I think resistance is at 76? Right? Do I want to buy it right here thinking, you could. You just got about 50 cents. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know what? You know what really looks good to me? Let's just pretend, again, that this was the daily candle. If we could crack over this level, 75.08, I'd be more willing to do that. Is there a shorter time frame that I could play? Yeah, I bet there is. Wow, look at this 30-minute chart. Oh, wow. Isn't it amazing how it all lines up? Of course it lines up because I made it line up, right? So if we crack this 30-minute inside candle, I think we're going to come back to 75.60. And that way I've already got a running start into this inside candle break to the upside if it goes. So I would say, all right, I'm playing a 195 inside candle for the break up so that I can capture this for the inside candle on the daily. Does that make sense? This is how you do it. This is how you draw lines. This is how you make things fit what you want to see. All right, so I'm going to get rid of the inside candle now. And the goal of doing all this, again, is I'm digging the ditch down here into this range because what do I want to do overall? Right? I want the water to flow to take me where? The ultimate target for this piece is going to be back to point of control at 78. So I'll take out a dollar win here, 50-cent win here, dollar win there, and then I'll have a good cost basis of a down around, let's say 73, to take this back to 78. And then we'll repeat the process up here in 78 to see if we can get over 78 to take it back up to 81 and then up to all-time high, right? That's all. That's what I do every single day. So thinking of this in zones, right? Zone 1, 2, and 3. The only thing that matters is you want range to take between zones. I think taking it from 75 to 78 is 78.50 is a great range. I'll take that 250. So that's my goal. So now I need to scalp out a position that allows me a much less risk than 250, right? So I can do that by scalping out 50-cent wins here, dollar wins here, and then if I can get 1,000 shares with $1, well then that gives me, if I could buy 1,000 shares at 75, then that gives me down to 74 as a break even, which means 73.50. I'm going to lose 50 cents on 1,000 shares. Yeah, I'll do that. So now I've got a 50-cent risk versus a 250 reward. I'll take it every day. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So this is how you set up trades. This is how you use levels. This is how you create zones to take between each other. So if you guys have questions, please throw them out. So here I'm gonna write over the top of this. I'm gonna snip this out and write over the top of it so I can just use a pen. So using my current mythology, right? I'm looking at this level as zone 2. I'm looking at this level as zone 3. And I'm looking at this level as zone 1. Okay? And what I'm trying to do is I'm zooming in closer to zone 2. And I'm figuring out support and resistance within zone 2. So that I can dig the ditch that allows the water to flow, that protects me so that I can take this back to zone 3. Right? Okay, so an example of doing that live today on the mic with you was NVIDIA. Right? Where did I tell you guys we're going to get a bounce? I said, guys, when we were at 8.55, I said, guys, we're going to bounce in the next $10. The odds of a bounce in the next $10 are extremely high. How did I know that? VP, right here, mental level. Obviously, it's always the same thing. Same way I did it. Okay, so this would be currently would be zone 2, right? So here, let me write zone 2. So I'm taking zone 2 and I'm saying I'm trying to scalp out enough in zone 2 to take it back to where? Where am I trying to take this back to? The ultimate target. I'm not trying to take $1 or $5 out of this. My goal isn't to take $5 out of this. My ultimate goal is to take it all the way back up here, which is now zone 3. This is where I want to take it. I want to take this thing from 850 back to 880. I want to take $30 out of this MFR. I don't want to take 5. Why am I going to do that? Right? Okay, great. Well, what's your risk? Well, my risk was down here. So am I willing to take, $5 risks for $50 gains, $30 gains? Yeah, all day. I'll do it all day. So I've been able to sell profits in NVIDIA already. So guess what? Guess where my cost basis is on NVIDIA now? My cost basis is well below my stop out zone. So what does that mean? No matter what happens on NVIDIA for the rest of the day, I'm going to end up with a green trade on NVIDIA. It doesn't matter if NVIDIA goes to 0. I've made a green trade on NVIDIA today. It's a free trade. This is the trading that I like to do. Right? Now, let me show you another one that we did today that didn't work. Tesla. Remember, I said, hey, I think we're going to get a bounce in this range. Right here. We did. We got it. So guess what I did? My goal was to take this all the way back up here. So I took some profits into this. I said, I'm not adding to this anymore. I'm just going to let it hard stop me out, which it did. So I ended up with a small green trade on Tesla. It didn't bounce back where I wanted it to go. Great. I don't care. What did I tell you I would do? Well, okay, then you just go to the next level. That's it. What's the next level? Well, it's not going to be hard because you don't have a lot to deal with on Tesla over here. Here, let's see if we can find it. Again, it's going to be, looks like 167.50 is what it looks like. The rough draft, but let's zoom in. Here's your range. Right there. Okay. Now let's see if this matches the previous levels. Actually, yeah, this is actually nice because you actually have a little bit of a base here as well. So I would have used these 3 as my absorption zones. Well, let's see. Oh, what do you know? Oh, it's amazing. First hit, we bounce off of it. Oh, wow, it's like rocket science, right? No, it's freaking easy as can be. You just have to have the patience and the discipline to stop out when you're supposed to risk control, and to buy when you're supposed to. That's it. That's trading. And so if we were watching this live and playing this live, we would have gotten 1 fill. We would have missed the second and third. We would have been able to sell into VWAP, at least half of it. That would have been a $2 gain. 167.80 minus $2 is 166.50. That's well below my stop out level. I'm good. Another free trade. Now let's see if Tesla can go all the way back up. And you just do this over and over again until it actually bounces. I don't know which one's going to be the actual bounce. Is it going to be this one? Is it going to be this one? Is it going to be the next? I have no idea. And I don't care, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter to me because when it happens, I will be a part of it. Okay. All right. All right, so we're about 10:30 in, guys. What I'll tell you, a lot of times at the 10:30 mark, you kind of get people like me that walk away. You'll start to get a little bit more weakness than what you've had in the first hour. So I'm gonna go walk away. I'll be back a little bit later, but just be careful. You know, let's at least give it to 11 o'clock to kind of figure out what we want to do. Where are we on that? So we're looking kind of weak here. Yeah, just, you know, if you're longing anything, again, like I've been saying for 4 weeks, just be careful and risk control. Okay. I'm going to put in hard stops on DKS now. I've been mentally watching this one. I'm using the low of day as risk now on DKS. I'm playing shares of DKS on this one. I've got hard stops in on Nvidia already. One that I would like to buy are these three that they talked about yesterday in the Nvidia presentation. We just have to wait for a proper setup, and I just the one with the proper setup is this one that's got the right. You've got this flag going, trying to break to the upside, and then same idea here, right? So you can't buy these per the rules unless they're under the ADMA. So you just have to wait or play a shorter time frame. Is AMD coming down? I hope so. Oh yeah. Yes. Yes.